So, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today about Takaful Emarat and the journey that we've been on in trying to innovate and disrupt and change over the past year and a half. I'll tell you one interesting thing is that there are so many of my team here, they're going to have to keep me honest. So I'm not going to be able to lie, right? So actually, I think it's a good opportunity for you to meet some of the Takaful Emarat people and ask them about some of the things that we're going to share with you. Thanks to Fleming organizers for giving us the opportunity to come and share our humble experience with you. And I'm going to be available, obviously, to answer any questions throughout the day. It is without a doubt that the insurance industry is one of the most lagging industries so far when it comes to innovation. We know that so many industries have already transformed and changed the way that they operate and become closer to the customer and become more user-friendly. Unfortunately today, customers come in contact with us twice. Usually when they're buying insurance or renewing insurance, and God forbid for the customer or us, they're filing a claim, right? So we're not an industry that typically engages with our customers or have deep engagement with our customers. And that needs to change. There are so many industries that have been disrupted. By the way, I forgot, by way of introduction, I forgot to tell you that I don't come from an insurance background. I've only been in insurance for about a year and 3 months. I come from digital transformation across so many different industries over the past 30 years, in government, in finance, in banking. So my expertise is more on, I'm an outsider, actually, maybe not as much anymore, but I'm an outsider to insurance, and that gave me the unique privilege and perspective to put a set of fresh eyes on how we can make changes to the insurance industry, which takes me to the point about disruption. How many industries have you heard of that have been disrupted? Like Airbnb with hospitality, Uber with transportation, and so many other examples that have come. And we don't want to be disrupted this way as traditional insurers, or at least that's our hypothesis, that we should make that change. And what's driving this change what's driving us to change? Well, everything is fine. We're able to collect premium, we're paying claims. Why make the change? The change is coming because of this hyper-personalization that we're seeing in the economy. Based on what kind of coffee cup you like, or buy, let's take that as an example. If you're a Starbucks fan, a Gloria Jeans fan, or a Caribou fan, I want a tall latte with a shot of amaretto, extra hot. I want the foam on the side. You do this every day, right? At least for those of you that like coffee, maybe you with tea. But you do this every day. So the reality is this is becoming embedded in our culture as consumers. The consumerization and the choice that is coming now is forcing us to make these changes. It's no longer something that we can accept, that we're not going to be able to offer choice or personalization for our customers. It's something that is coming, and these customers are going to be asking for it as we move along. The move, I believe, by looking at the culture and the fact that consumers are driving the personalization of what is it that they want and when they want it, I believe that there's going to be a big push towards usage-based insurance, where they can customize when do they turn on and off insurance, or what do they cover specifically and for how long, rather than cover for 365 days, whether it's on or off. Now that's the panacea, I think, ultimately. That's where we want to reach. The ability to turn and customize insurance for our customers on an as-needed basis. So this drive for usage-based insurance is going to be what customers are going to expect with an app, so they can access it from anywhere in the world and make changes, look at their premium, look at their policy details, and be able to make 5 claims. Couple that with the sensor economy that is coming. Again, I don't need to all this data you hear through so many different outlets and media, the 1 billion sensors that will be connected by 2025, with the zettabytes and zettabytes of data that's going to be coming our way, with everything from the way that we live, the way that we exercise, the way that we take risks, the way that we drive. All of this is going to provide this rich set of data about our customers to tell us how they are living their lives. That is going to be a great opportunity for us to leverage this sensor economy, or this data that's coming to us, to be able to create these tailor-made products for our customers. And this is where Takaful Emarat started by hiring an outsider and said, we need to change. All right, we need to do things differently, and we want to be the first to actually initiate this change. So by me coming in, one of the first things that I did was to adopt a strategy that's called Ready, Fire, Aim. This is not a typo, it's correct. It's Ready, Fire, Aim. It's from one of my heroes, one of our business gurus of our time, Tom Peters. He talks about, he gave us this golden nugget of information by distilling so many innovative companies that have been successful over the years that he had studied. And the way that they go about it is, instead of perfecting the product, they actually look for ways by which they can release the product, minimum viable product, if you have heard the term. They release the product and test it with the customer before they perfect it, but they do it in a very short time frame. We're talking about, months, 3 to 6 months. And then find out how this product can be improved. And then we iterate. We either pull the product or we improve the product. Now, we are, as a life and medical company right now, it doesn't give us a lot of opportunities to innovate, but what we have done is innovated in the way that we're delivering medical insurance. How are we selling medical insurance online, for example, through an app or through the website? How can we improve the journey? So these are the things that we have tried, and I believe we've been fairly successful in doing so much change in a very little time frame. And I'll mention some of these things as we are going along. All right. Innovation at the heart of strategy. Given that we've taken this approach of Ready, Fire, Aim, the way that we've looked at doing innovation at Takaful Emarat is not as an initiative that runs perpendicular to all the other initiatives. Digitization, automation, and innovation is actually the central core, it's the central axis of what we do, and then everything else is built around it, either on top or on the bottom of it. But it's all about innovation. We're going to change everything. These are the 3 key areas that I will touch on in the coming slides: data and the importance of data science, artificial intelligence and people, and how these things have been central, at least in our mind, to the way that we've been able to make changes as Takaful Emarat as we're moving forward. Investing in data science. We talked about the sensor economy already. We are not at the point where we're getting that data, but we're moving in that direction, be it from smartwatches or from sensors that are in your car eventually, and so on. But we've invested in hiring a data scientist. This is actually really cool. We hired a guy that does nothing but look at data all day long. He looks at data sets, what comes from our core systems. He looks at what do we have available. He looks at what do we have as gaps. And he looks at what insights and patterns can be driven out of that data. So investing in data and data science is very important, is the first, in my opinion, step in order for you to enable artificial intelligence. Everybody's talking about AI and machine learning. Well, guess what? The fuel for machine learning is data. If you don't have good data, garbage in, garbage out. So this already gave us a lot of insights just by having a data science program without machine learning and AI improved our ability to make decision making. And my chief commercial officer, Tamam, always hates it when I come in the morning because we have these big dashboards that actually show us production data. We see sentiment on Facebook and Twitter and all of this, and it's all out in the open in our offices. You can see it. So this would not have been possible if we did not understand our data sources, customer data, where is it distributed, how can we collect it all together, and how can we aggregate it in a way that we can make meaningful sense out of the data. Then we look at activating AI. How many of you know Lemonade? I think we're cool. So many. Lemonade now is, okay, not many. Juniper? Some? So Lemonade is a insurtech startup that's been around for a couple of years. It's really an impressive company. Please look it up. They've been around for 2 years. They focus on home insurance only, but they do everything completely online. From the time that you buy the policy until the time that you file that claim and you get paid that claim. You don't talk to anybody. I mean, literally, you don't talk to anybody. It's all done through the app. So back to my slide about the appified version. Now, granted, people will say, okay, well, that's one product only. Fine, but it's one product that's been very successful for this company. And they went from loss ratios of over 200 down to under 100 in less than 2 years. So they're onto something. And the fact that they're deploying AI and using AI is really helping them reduce the manpower requirements and make sure that they can scale very easily. Juniper is another example of a company that scrapes social media to build profiles for people so that you can propose life insurance policies. It's kind of scary, but within 5 minutes, they can, Juniper, 5-10 minutes, Juniper can come up with a proposal for a life policy based on your social media profiles. It's crazy. There's no more privacy, by the way. What we've done with AI and activating AI, now that we've had that rich data set, we were able to start looking at that data and begin to look at patterns and identify, feed the machines and build algorithms to actually start predicting how certain policies are going to perform or how certain customers might behave. It might seem like always we hear artificial intelligence and it seems like voodoo, but it's actually not that hard. There's a lot of information, a lot of algorithms that are open source that people can look at and invest in. We partnered with Stanford University and actually visited with Stanford University, their data science and AI program, and we worked heavily on looking at algorithms to be able to predict the behavior of customers around. We don't have the general license we're working on, but driving behaviors. So I'll just share this interesting story with you. They actually were able to develop algorithms that we have access to where they can, based on the sensor readings from the car, they can actually pinpoint who's driving. So if you have, let's say, 4 drivers with one car, within 2 minutes of driving, they can say it's Fadi that's driving the car, or it's X that's driving the car. So it's really good information for this futuristic insurer that we're talking about. Data science and AI might be looked at as almost like back office activities in a way. At the end, we're doing this for the customer. So we always say you have to design your products and services for people. So customer experience and customer journeys really are the most important thing at the end. So we have to start with the customer experience at the top, looking at the journey start to finish. It's been quite an interesting experiment for us to actually map out from the time somebody wants to buy health insurance, from the time that they are aware of the need to buy, all the way through until they renew, cancel, and become influencers about whether to buy or not to buy, and actually look at the entire journey and understand how the customer emotional let's say, trend goes through that time, and make sure that as a journey map, we know how to address every step of the way. And what we've designed on our website actually enables you to, enables us to address these customer needs as they're going, and simplify and make the journey more pleasurable for them and easy for them to purchase. So this is, they can buy basic insurance in 5 minutes, and they can buy comprehensive insurance in about 8 or 10 minutes, all done online, and the policy is issued and comes by email. And this is, this is something that's live today. So this is the importance of customer experience. Develop your team. One of the aspects that you can actually see in a lot of our social media channels, LinkedIn, Instagram, and so on, we've invested heavily this was actually the first thing that we did, is look at the culture of the organization. This was a tough one, because you can talk AI, and you can talk data, and you can talk all of this, but at the end, if people are not ready to adopt and work with these technologies and move in this direction that you want, things are not going to happen. So one of the early things that we've done is we created an open office space environment. There are no walls, there are no cubicles. I'm as a CEO, I sit with everybody else. I'm not lying, you can ask my team. So I sit with everyone. We have breakout rooms, obviously, so people can have private conversations and meeting rooms and all of that. But this open culture has created that transparency and speed. And we moved from this, I hate this lag, that ping pong, the emails, I email somebody and I wait 4 or 5 hours, they email me back, and then I email somebody, and then you start looking at this trail of emails, and when you add someone new to the list, it's just like, it's a nightmare. I can't say we've eliminated emails completely in-house, but we almost eliminated in-house emails, and it started by me. I'm being difficult. I don't respond to emails. So my guys know they need to actually reach me or do something, they're gonna have to get on Slack. So we use Slack as a social technology within Takaful Emarat. It's accessible on any mobile device, and it's a social technology. It's like now. So I can ping pong with people in real time. There's no elaborate emails and whatnot. So this move of the culture to make it open and make it real time has driven a lot of the inefficiencies and wasted effort out. And we've been able to become more responsive as an organization as we're moving forward. Please don't misunderstand. We haven't figured it all out, right? We're not saying we're the best thing, and we're the best insurer. To the contrary, we're just sharing with you our experience. We're doing things that haven't been done before, maybe in the UAE and in insurance companies, but we've had some good successes with them. And I think that we have more to come in our journey. But the deployment of social technologies and the change of the culture, this is maybe the biggest message, is before you talk about AI and data and everything, you really have to make sure you look at your people and get your people culture really squared away first, to make sure that they are ready to take on all these changes. Mahmoud, can you stand up? Sure. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. This is our Director of People Operations. If you guys want to talk about culture and changes and disruption and what happened in the past year and a half, just find this guy. He will tell you all the things that we went through as an organization to actually be able to make these changes. Thank you. So putting it all together, from our experience has been looking at starting with customer experience, and then looking at make sure that you get the experience right. Look at new products and services that can be delivered completely digital and online. Add to that artificial intelligence so you get insights and information about your customers, or to design new products. Support it with the right culture within the organization, and then build the extended community. And this is perhaps the area that we're currently working on. It's another experiment that we're trying. You can go to community.tlife.ae and sign up. You don't have to buy anything, but you can participate. Something that we're trying to make more active, and actually give ideas on new products, or talk about existing products and how they can be made better. And we want to build this community with our partners and our customers and others. And this is something that we are really moving towards achieving. By the way, one thing I forgot to tell you on the AI side is that one of the things that we've deployed, one of the projects and the experiments, you can also try this on tlife.ae, is a chatbot. And this chatbot is based on NLP and AI, and it can respond to your questions, and it's an expert system that can guide you through the different products and services that we have, and it can allow you to purchase the product online through the chatbot without having to go out. And it's got a couple of jokes, so you can ask it, tell me a joke, and actually interact with you. So that's this is where we're beginning to see a lot of benefit out of AI, as well as the claims and fraud detection and prediction on policy profitability. We've got about 85% accuracy now, based on 5 years of data. The machine, we call them TiVo, can actually predict up to 85% when compared to our underwriters, but how the policy performance only getting better. So year on year, it's going to get hopefully 90-95%, and improve. So we had this slide that we talked about reimagining Takaful. But what we ended up doing over the past year and 3 months or 4 months is actually looking at reimagining insurance. I know reimagining is a word that's, again, been overused by so many industries, but the idea is that we are looked at how insurance can be delivered differently to our customers. And ultimately, our ultimate goal is this tap, tap, done. And the idea of tap, tap, done is that we want to get to a point, as Takaful Emarat, where we have your customer profile. When you open the app, you can say, I want that, pay, done. So I want to insure, take a picture, pay, and you're done. So the idea of being that simple in interacting with our customers and having our customers actually come to Takaful Emarat because they know that they're going to get the right level of service. I hope I didn't take too much time. Thank you very much. I'm around if you guys have any questions. And thank you for listening.
Questions?
Sure.
So, just while everybody in the audience is thinking about what they might like to raise with Fadi, I've got a question for you on collaboration. You talked very passionately about the evolution of collaboration within your own organisation. You talked about the power of data in, data out, rubbish in, rubbish out. What about collaboration within the industry? So, Emarat Takaful has a set of data points it works with. You talked about real time, you talked about the dashboard in the morning. But what if that was opened up to a broader set of data that was available to you along with other industry practitioners? Have you seen any evidence in UAE or elsewhere or past experience of collation and access to data that's not commercially sensitive but is available to you to be able to produce a more bespoke product for your own customer? Have you seen any evidence of that? Is that a barrier at the moment? I'm thinking about this in terms of, if you look at the banking industry, when it's been through a transformation of technology, it was all about who could get there first with the most amount of data and then have a product that was most relevant, as opposed to looking at the product requirements of the customer and saying, as a banking industry, what can we do with the vast amounts of data we've got?
No, it's a good question. I think currently the most accurate insurance information that we get is obviously from our esteemed colleagues at the Insurance Authority, and we're thankful for the data that they provide us. But we need more data to look at futuristic products and services about customer preferences that might not necessarily be currently captured by any particular authority or agency. I know that Smart Dubai has some initiatives at making city data and information about customers available, or about residents and UAE nationals available to these data sets for companies to be able to use, but that's Dubai only. I believe we need to see what's happening. We haven't seen anything at a federal level yet, but I'm sure that's something that will be coming. But one comment that I will make is that there's a fintech hive or an insurtech hive at the DIFC. I know there's a similar activity or a similar initiative in Abu Dhabi as well, ADGM, I believe, where they are incubating new startups that are working on insurance industry data and information exchange. And we've been a part of this program last year, looking at blockchain and how blockchain can be used for life insurance policies, right, Emarat? To actually be able to check on whether this particular customer that's applying, and basically about some attributes about the customer, and it's about sharing the data. And I think it's the first of its kind in the UAE, and we're working with our colleagues at the Insurance Authority now to see if we can bring that solution forward. With the blessing of the authority by having a few insurers coming online.
And we're going to hear from, this afternoon, we're going to hear from the Addendum brothers, like I call them, who are really,
Those are the guys.
and they're not here yet because they're on their way back from, they just got back from India with food Muslims, so hopefully they'll get this. Now listen, we've got a set of questions, we've got 10 questions up here, we've got 10, let's work through them as we can. Okay.
No problem. Okay, as a leader of an organization, how do you differentiate innovation and continuous improvement? Where do you think both are going to help and to what effect? So it's a very good question because sometimes continuous improvement is mistaken for innovation. Innovation is about doing something differently that you haven't done before and really approaching the problem in a new way and finding new solutions that you haven't experimented with before. Continuous improvement, on the other hand, is you've got something that you're just trying to optimize and tweak as you're going along. So there's a place for both of these things, but be careful not to fall into the trap of continuous improvement only, because sometimes you need a seismic shift in the way that you're doing things, and that would be the difference between the two. What has the Takaful Emarat done to increase awareness and importance of protection? So we firmly believe that the future direction, as you've seen from my slide, is going to be the internet, digital, and social media. So we've spent significant amount of time and effort and energy on different social media channels, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, where we educate people about the importance of savings, protection, medical. So that's, you just open any of these channels and just type Takaful Emarat and you'll see all the ads. And as a matter of fact, I would say this, we want to become more socially responsible. So we're not just going after this commercial. We're actually trying to educate people about certain things, breast cancer, Women's Day. We're trying to actually make sure that we participate in the community and help the community understand and become aware of the larger issues, not just the things that are related to issues. I feel the only way to stand out in this crowded market is to provide a wow experience. This is what distributors like us to provide. Thank you. Do I need to answer that? One of the big challenges of Ready Fire is impact on traditional brand and customer plus corporate mindset. How did you address that? That's also a lot of good questions, Bob. You guys are hard to take. I think so for me, I've been a CEO for about a year and 3 months, right? I'm a new CEO. So, and you can ask my guys, I'm a fairly driven guy. I'm fair, and I care for the people and everything, but we drive hard. So, you really need that top down, we are going to do this. So imagine when I first joined and everybody was in cubicles and they were distributed on 3 floors. When finance needed to talk to IT, it might take them 2 or 3 days. Change now, fast forward, and then just eliminate all that. Everybody's sitting on 1 floor, and finance can shout and talk to IT within 30 seconds. That kind of change cannot be done bottom up. So you really have to do it, top down. And Ready, Fire, Aim also have to come top down. One of the things that I've seen throughout my experience has been the creation of labs, which is a great idea. The only problem with labs is that it is kind of a, this nebulous thing that is running on the fringe of the organization. It's not really embedded inside of the organization. We have labs, but the stuff that we're doing with labs is kind of like, offshoots. But the Ready, Fire, Aim is happening inside. And again, Vivek, can you stand up? So here, sorry, so this is the guy that's in charge of business transformation. You can ask him about a lot of the Ready, Fire, Aim things that we have done through selling medical insurance online, improving the way that we underwrite life policies. Tamara also, you can ask her. And the way that we do that, again, it really has to be enforced, and it has to be from top management, that that's the way that we're going to have to do it. How do you manage multiple distribution channels? With great difficulty. So, right now, traditionally, our distribution channels have been operating the same. So, our chief commercial officer, the lead on the life and medical right now, general soon, inshallah. That traditional business needed to continue to run as is. The new channels that we're adding are the digital ones. So it's the website, it's the mobile, and it's the call center. So these are the things that we've made the investments in improving and trying to get better at. And you're going to have to make the investment. There's really no way around it. And the only thing that I can say that you have to make sure that you have a good team, and given that you have the right culture, you have a good team, they run after it, and you don't worry about it. And then you can look at these different channels by having these people in charge. What are the first steps you took? Where are these questions coming from? Somebody, do you guys have an app, or are you just like creating these questions? You guys are sending them?
Artificial intelligence.
What are the first steps you took or would take to foster culture change from the ground up? All right. So we talked about the open office space. If you visit the LinkedIn profile, visit my LinkedIn profile, the Takaful Emarat LinkedIn profile, or my Instagram, it's at Fadi Hindi. There's a video that actually shows the open office space. We had some positives and some negatives that are mentioned in the post of an open office space, but I really believe that the culture change is going to have to, again, from the ground up, you're going to face some difficulty. You can do it on a unit or a department level, but if you want to do it at a company level, it's going to have to be a mindset that comes from management that says we are going to change our culture and we are going to make it more collaborative. You don't have to go as far as we've gone. But we just, we made a shockwave that just took everybody that was standing in the path of this. Can you explain more the relation between going digital and reducing loss ratio as mentioned in your example? Okay, so maybe this example is about artificial intelligence and data, because what we have been. So a couple of examples I didn't mention because I didn't want to take too long. We built a machine that we fed 5 years of claims data to. And what this machine does, it runs on all the claims that come for Takaful Emarat for payment. In the past, I'm sure as all you are aware, you cannot look at all your claims. You might be able to look at 5%, 10%, a random set and check for fraud, for example. Now our machine is about 65, I'm sharing this openly, our machine is about 65% accurate. It can detect fraud with 65% accuracy, but it runs through all the claims. So what happens is, even though the accuracy is lower, the actual identification and the number of potential fraud cases has risen much higher. With our ability to go back to TPAs and say, wait a minute, we have these 10 transactions that have a question mark. Why did this guy get this treatment when he just signed up, 2-3 weeks ago, and he declared that he didn't have such and such? So these are the things that going digital are helping us in reducing these losses. So it's all about identifying the patterns, doing better detection of fraud, and also when we're pricing policies, looking at the input data, the machine can predict the profitability of the policy based on historical data, and that becomes another data point that helps us in reducing the loss ratio. With your experience, why is the percent of customers who interact with you as their insurer to get service via portal app compared to traditional service requests? Why is or what is the percentage of customers? Oh, okay. What is the percentage of customers? So what we've seen, I'm just going to tell you, this is not scientific, but what we have seen is that the people that come through the portal end up continuing digital, and going through digital channels. People that visit the branch have a tendency to continue to visit the branch, But what we have done in our branch, when we redesigned it, we actually have our agents walk them to a tablet and show them the online portal. So they don't have to come to the branch the next time for buying or renewal. But I don't have an exact percentage. Will the slides of all the presentations be available after the conference? Yes. How can you uncover context and underlying customer drivers when you analyze your data? Oh, that's a question. I'm not really sure what you mean by context. When we're looking at data and data about our customers or whatever, usually we have a particular objective that we're going after. I participated in a podcast a few weeks back where they were talking about AI and the purpose of AI and how do you deploy artificial intelligence. And the key message is always about what is the objective of doing AI. So if it's loss ratio or if it's prediction, you're going to be looking at the data in a particular way. But if it's trying to detect fraud, you're going to be looking at the data in another way. Now, I think the next phase that we're going to is going to look at getting that sensor data and start predicting what is the customer going to do next. So maybe ask me that question in about 6 months, and I'll have a better answer for you. Okay, what medium do you use to engage with customers from purchase to renewal? We mentioned this. This is through our website, our chatbot, and our call center, our branch. We're making all of these channels available. What Takaful did to develop salvage vehicles, how they are reducing their loss from selling salvage, what is the idea that they have in the future? We don't have our general license yet, so we don't sell auto insurance, but inshallah very soon. Again, maybe after 6 months I can answer that question. Is the Indian market ready for pay-as-you-use types of insurance products such as insurance linked usage, etc.? Your views and thoughts. So there's been a lot of discussions, I believe, on usage-based insurance like longer, and His Excellency has also mentioned that that's something that the UAE is going to be bringing about. We've done some exercises and looked at that technology as well. We have to work obviously within the direction of the insurance authority to make sure that the regulation is in place for us to make the introduction of such products. But I think my personal view is that the authority is very keen on moving this forward and from talking to His Excellency Fleming, they're keen on moving this forward as long as there's compliance with all the regulations and the other authorities in the country. So I think this is something that we're going to see in the future. With your experience, the loss ratio of portfolio of products brought via online better than face-to-face sales. Also, your analysis, why it's better. So as I said, we're predominantly life and medical company right now, and all of our digital is medical. And you know that the medical loss ratio is not that great, just because medical is medical. But I don't think there's a difference. Whether you're buying it in branch or you're buying it online, it goes into the overall portfolio. I don't think there's much of a difference really. It's just about the preference of the customer as to whether they want to visit the branch or they want to not interact with it. That's it? Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very helpful, useful, thoughtful session with Q&A. I'm just going to leave an open question based on a lot of the things that Fadi's just talked about, and also thinking about the context of where we are in the UAE. Based on what Fadi has just talked through in the Q&A, we've got a lot of